happens when a crazed killer on trial for the murder he committed proclaims a hex towards everyone that is trying to sentence him away to prison. This is the story of Jake Bird, the man who committed a grisly murder on Halloween Eve, and the mysterious and haunting aftermath of a thing that he proclaimed to be called the Bird Hex, and how it impacted the court system that sent him away to prison. Welcome back to Phantom of the Indie Review. I am your host, Ratty, and today this true crime story is quite haunting. I've been seeing your guys' comments about how you want to see longer videos, and I want to just say that means so much to me. The fact that you guys want to listen to my stories, videos, ideas, and hang out with me means a lot to me. So if you guys are interested and down for the ride, come hang out, and definitely comment below, because this is a community to talk about horror, true crime, and crazy stuff, and I want to connect with you guys, y'all my friends. So if any of this is interesting to you, subscribe and come chill. On October 30th, 1947, on Halloween Eve, Bertha Klutt and her daughter Beverly June were at home, when in the middle of a night, a man broke into their home, brandishing an axe. During the disruption, Bertha tried to find a weapon to defend her and her daughter, but the intruder got an upper advantage on her, and he attacked her and hacked her to death with the axe. Beverly June could not escape, and she became the next victim. She was murdered in the same fashion as her mother when she decided to try to confront the killer herself. 2 police officers sent to the Tacoma, Washington residence said in their reports that they heard screaming from within inside, so decided to enter the scene. As they entered, they saw a man escape from the back door and decided to chase after them. The suspect was captured and taken to the Tacoma City Jail, the suspect being a man named Jake Bird. Caught and interrogated, he confessed to the killings right away and claimed that it was a botched burglary turned murder. The 45-year-old suspect had an extensive crime record, including not just burglary, but also many attempts of murder. And throughout the United States, from Michigan, Iowa to Utah, he had already served up to 31 years in prison for crimes he had committed. Born in a Louisiana location that he could not recall the exact place he was born, he pretty much traveled around as a manual laborer and a railroad gandy dancer, who was pretty much someone that laid and maintained the tracks. And the fact that he worked on the railroad is what kept him moving around so he could commit all these crimes. Being convicted for these crimes, Jake Bird was allowed to make a final statement, and he spoke for 20 minutes long, going on a tangent, noting that he requested to represent himself and that his own lawyers were against him, and that he felt like the case wasn't a fair trial in terms of how he was being treated. But then this is where it gets kind of weird, and Bird proclaimed, "I am putting the Jake Bird hex on all of you who had anything to do with me being punished. Mark my words, you will die before I do." And through superstition and maybe coincidence, allegedly 6 people connected with the trial died. One of the victims, Judge Edward D. Hodge, died of a heart attack just a month after Jake Bird's sentencing. Also, another person that died tragically was one of the officers that took Jake's confession. A police officer who took a second confession died, as well as the court's chief clerk during this entire trial. Even one of Jake Bird's prison guards. But in another eerie, strange coincidence, is that J.W. Selden, one of Bird's lawyers, died on the anniversary of Jake Bird's sentencing. And I find this case kind of really creepy, not to mention that the murders took place on Halloween Eve, but the whole superstitious hex that Jake did. I mean, coming from Louisiana, we all know the culture and stories of hex and curses and voodoo of people from that area, and the fact that so many people so closely tied to this case got murdered is kind of insane. And it just makes you think, was the hex just a cry for attention, or were all these victims that killed after the fact coincidental, or was there something more deeply rooted than that? Alright guys, that's the video. Subscribe, give me a thumber, hit that ding-a-ling button, harass and tell you, hey, it's me, I'm here. I'm gonna say it 1 time for the 1 time, 2 time for the O's, give me a hell yeah. In the heart of mystery holds the darkness of truth, true horror, real madness, drip fed